Hi, this is Jade McLove, and I didn't want to have to do this because I actually typed this whole thing out, but I guess I'm like on their terrorist watch list or something because I wrote this out, and this is about what's going on. It's not abusive, it's not inflammatory, it's about what the banking cabal is doing to humanity and how they've taken over and how they are controlling us through debt backed dollars. It used to be gold backed dollars, and we talked about this, but I found out that actually they make money off of our debts and our fines from like traffic tickets and from jail, paying the fine for jail to get out and all that. The judges are making money and putting into slush funds that one of the guys who codes the banking systems, who coded the banking systems stuff for the computer where they put the money in, he that takes all the records. He noticed something weird, that all these judges were putting it into organizations that had slush funds, and it wasn't going to the organizations that these people said that this money that they were, this supposed money that's not backed by anything, that has no real value, that they value because they can use it to buy goods when it has no real value. So they use that to go buy mansions and cars and whatnot. And they're putting our funds into slush funds. Maybe not all judges, but he did catch quite a few of them doing it, and he took them to court, and I guess one of them went to jail or something because he took it to the Supreme Court. But that's how dirty this system is, and it's rigged against the American people. You have no real rights. Your wealth, you have no real wealth. From birth to death, they have pegged you into a system where you will work yourself to death, probably doing a job that you can't stand, working for money that has no real value in a system that hates you. And that's all I can say. And no matter how they like to sugarcoat that they love us so much, there's no love in not allowing people to have real wealth. I don't care what you say about it. You may have stuff in your house. You may have a mansion. You may have cars in your front yard. But in your bank account, all those millions of dollars hold no real value. They're not backed by gold, so you can't go to the banker, give me the gold. Give me the gold for the money. You can't go to a bank and go, I want to get the gold for the money, because there's no real wealth behind it. So it's valueless. It's worth no money. That's what, it has no worth. Like, it's worth only because it only has worth. It's so hard to do this. It only has worth because so many people for so many generations since FDR's deal with taking the gold away from the money, it only has worth because we, the people, allow it to have worth. If we chose not to use it, it would have no worth. And so they're just taking advantage of us, the people. And it's like an abusive relationship. Abusive relationships never just stay nice. They always go from bad to worse to you might be killed. So just knowing that there's that abuse with them. There's other abuses, abuse with power, abuse with sentencing, too long sentences for regular people, mandates, all kinds of things that American citizens shouldn't have to be going through. We have unalienable God. We have rights under God, God-given rights that every human being has. That's why we have a Bill of Rights. This is why we have a Constitution, so that the government shouldn't have this much power. But when FDR took away he took away gold-backed dollars or money that's worth something, he actually made us debt slaves to a system that only allows us to exist because they allow this system to exist. And what happens when the matrix falls apart and they no longer allow the system? Think about it. It's a fake system where they make you believe that you have some kind of right through voting, but your vote doesn't even count anymore because half the time they're not counting the votes right. So if the money isn't worth anything and your vote doesn't count, how much real power do you think you have in a society where none of your wealth is worth anything? I put it out there and I was watching a video about it, and the guy was stating the obvious, but it's so hard to believe because I was born into a system past what FDR did. My grandparents lived in it, my fathers lived in it, and now I'm living in it. And it's the first time in my life I actually looked at the system and realized that there's a serious problem when I realized, wait a minute, the money isn't worth anything. And it really hit a nerve. Like, so people are working and slaving day in and day night and day in and day out, and they are born into a system that sees them as an asset, and you work till you die here. Like my friend who came from another country, she said, you don't work to live here, you live to work here. So all we do is work. But what are we working for if the value of the money is zero? And I sat there and I thought about it, that people, they work all their lives so they can have something in the bank that's tangible, that holds real value, something you can touch, something that can't be taken away. And that's not true here. And the people in power know this, and they don't want us to know anything. That's why they're silencing everything. So you cannot make a conformed consent type of decision, and it has to be approved by them, everything you think and say, because this place is going full-blown Marxist. That's what's happening. All of our rights, because we gave up the rights to have any real wealth. We were always teetering on that line of somebody's going to come in here one day and completely take over the place and take over our rights, and we did nothing to stop it. So is it our fault? Yes, it is, because for generations we just ran around in a circle doing whatever they asked, thinking if we appease them that we're going to be all right. And there's no such thing in an abusive relationship. It goes from bad, it goes from a little bad to a little more bad to the worst. And so you can't live that way. Oops, my bad. You can't live that way. Drop the phone. And I'm not too sad about it, but I would like it to change, because I think we're good people, you know. But every time, sorry, lights off. Every time YouTube cancels me or tries to call me a terrorist or whatever they're doing, or I'm on some kind of list for thinking freely, which was something I was taught in college to do, I just think these people are insane. And one day we will, one day we're going to have to do what Moses did when they left Egypt. We are going to have to leave, because how much longer before, we all, as I plug this device in, how much longer before they tell us you don't have the right to exist? How much longer before that happens? Because if you think about it, if you think about what they're doing, it's not good for America. And one day we're going to have to part the sea and leave. And I'm not feeling well today, but I thought that this message was so important. I wrote it out and YouTube deleted it because no one has respect for women, and I don't care what you say about it. A woman could write something and they'll delete it. Even no matter if she's a scholar, no matter what. If she has a personal opinion, no matter what, they will delete it. That's what they think of women. That's what they really think of women. So if my writing gets deleted and there was no bad language, wasn't insulting anybody, but was telling a simple truth, that you are not free if you have no wealth-backed money. If you have no gold-backed money, you are a debt slave. And so we will eventually need to leave this place and get out of here, because if mandates and everything else, we have no rights. That's what's going on. We can't even comment or talk to each other or warn each other about anything. And this video will probably be deleted because I've just told you the truth.